Hi, in this series, I'm going to be teaching Photoshop from scratch, everything you need to know about Photoshop from a beginner to a pro level, and I can assure you this video is going to be as detailed as possible. I am Oluwatomishi Salami and you can call me Salami for short. And without wasting too much of your time, let's get into it.
Hi, welcome to class. So if you are new to Photoshop, this is the interface you are going to be getting. And at this point, all you have to do is just to click on New File and you get this particular dialog box. And for the purpose of this class, we are going to be working with a particular size. In the later part of the video, I'm going to be explaining why we are going with this particular file, this particular size that we are going with. And the size is this. Make sure you have this on pixels, and this is on 3000 by, and this one is also on 4000. Make sure you have this unchecked. Make sure your resolution is on 100 and make sure your pixels per inch. Make sure your resolution is on pixels per inch and not pixels per centimeter. This is very important. Make sure it is on pixels per inch and make sure you have other settings like this. And then you click on create to begin. So here we have the menu bar, we have the tools here, and here we have the color swatches dialog, we have the properties bar here, and we have the layers panel here. So if you open your own Photoshop, there are some things that you might not see and you actually need them. For example, you might not see this properties dialog on your own Photoshop, and all you have to do is just to click on window and you click on properties here. So it will bring out that dialog. For now, I'm removing it so that we can see. So you go back to Windows, then you click on properties, then it will bring it. It will bring this properties dialog out. And here we have the layers panel. Also, if you don't have the layers panel, you can just come here. Same thing. Click on layers. So you just all you have to do is come to Windows. You check and uncheck whatever parts you need that is not there. But for now, these are the things we are working with: the layers panel, the properties panel, and the color swatches panel. So on Photoshop, one of the most important parts is this layers panel, and it is important in the sense that it controls whatever goes on this white canvas. If you have a particular shape, this black shape, and you have another one red color, and you have another one in yellow color, this layers panel controls which comes first. In this case, we have yellow on top. We have this yellow rectangle on top, and that is why we have it on top on this canvas. If I decide to move this yellow rectangle to the very bottom, realize that the yellow rectangle will actually go back on this canvas also. So this is one of the reasons why the layers panel is actually very important. And here we have the tools. We have the tools here. Here we have the tools here. We have this very first one is called a move tool. It is also a very important tool in the sense that you see, whenever you are done with any of the tools from this second one up to this last one, the very last one, whenever you are done using them, you have to actually return your mouse, your tool. You have to drop your tool on this move tool, and this is simply what I mean. So let's say we want to create a rectangle. All you have to do is draw this rectangle. Right, when you're done, you return your mouse to this move tool before you start moving, before you start any adjustment. It is actually very important because it prevents some unexpected movements and unexpected actions. So let's also talk about the rectangle tool. This is the rectangle tool here. This particular one here is the rectangle tool. You see, whenever you want to identify a tool, all you have to do is just to move your mouse to that particular tool, and Photoshop will help you with this mini video, this short video, just for you to get what tool it is and how to actually use it. So to use the rectangle tool, this is how you have to use it. So click on the rectangle tool. If you want to draw a rectangle, you have to hold your left click and drag. You drag to whatever extent you need and you drop. Again, you hold your left click and drag. You're not clicking once, you are holding it, then dragging. Do you get? You hold your left click and you drag. That is how to draw a rectangle. So we have the text tool. The text tool works differently from the rectangle. And this is why once you click on the text tool, to use the text tool, you actually have to click once. You have to click once, then you input whatever you want to input. Let's say Ade is a boy, is what we want to type. So once you input that, remember I said whenever you are done with any of these two, whenever you are done using any of these two, you actually have to return to this. You have to return to the very first two. It is actually very important. Before you start any adjustment, you have to return back to that tool. So now I've typed in Adeiziboy. Now I want to increase the size, or I want to transform, or I want to change the color. So this is what I do. I'll just go here. This properties bar, like I mentioned in the beginning, this is where you make your adjustment. So if you want to increase the size, you can just come here, input whatever size. So let's say 100. So we have our Adeiziboy. If I want to change the font type, I'll come here and change the font type to whatever font type I want to use. Do we get that? So it is as simple as that. So so far we've talked about the fact that the layers panel is actually very important, and we've also talked about the fact that we have this move tool, which is like a very important tool. It is used whenever you are done using any of these two, from this second to downwards. You have from this second to downwards, you actually have to return your mouse to the very first tool, which is the move tool. We also talked about the rectangle. Talked about the fact that you have to click and drag to draw your rectangle, or to draw your square, whatever dimension of the rectangle you want to draw. And we also talked about the text tool. The fact that to use the text, you just have to click on the text tool, move anywhere on your canvas, then click, then type, input whatever you want to type. Ade is a girl, and you return to your move tool, then you start your adjustment. To practice what we've learned so far, we'll be creating the Supreme logo. So let's get started. For this, we'll be using the rectangle tool. So we'll click on our rectangle tool, we'll click and we drag on our canvas like this, right? Then we'll click on the text tool. We want to type the word Supreme. Then we click here. You don't necessarily have to click inside the rectangle. You can type whatever you want to type outside, then you move it inside. So we have Supreme. Then you return to your move tool again, like I said. After that, to start our adjustment, so I want this rectangle in the red color. So you click on the rectangle, whatever layer you actually want to adjust, you have to make sure you are clicking on it. And to confirm that you've clicked on it, you will see it here on this layers panel. So you can see that right now we have the rectangle selected, we have the rectangle highlighted. So you come here to change the color. You come to this view. We'll talk more about this. We'll talk more about this soon. So you come here, you change your color. So if the preferred color is not here, all you have to do is just to come here. We'll still talk about this also. Then you select whatever color. So for this case, you are using red, and make sure you are hitting the top right angle to get the perfect red. So okay, we have the red. Then we have the Supreme. Click on the Supreme. You have to confirm we have the Supreme highlighted here. So we have the Supreme. So now we can move it inside of this place. I'll move it inside here. Then we change our color from black to white. Also, to get your perfect white, you make sure you're hitting the top left corner. Okay. Then you also increase your size. So let's say we're going with 300. And drag again. To drag also is by left click and move. You hold your left click and you move. That's how to drag. So let's say we are going with 500. That's a little too much. So let's say 4. So let's keep with 400. Or let's say 340. Yeah. Let's just move with this. So this is just to practice what we've learned so far. The rectangle tool, the text tool, and the move tool. And we'll see in the next episode.